What's happening, everybody? I'm back. So, God, family, and country. In that order. That's what matters the most in this life, you know? That's what matters the most. What do you think? Do you think that's what matters the most? God, family, and then your country, you know? For me, that's what matters the most. That's the most important thing. That's and it's in that order too, you know? Obey God, obey his laws, you know, like obey him, you know, that he left for us, you know, and it's not hard, you know? And then your family comes first. Above anything else. Above friends. Above, you know what I mean? I have a few examples too of why I feel like that. Why, you know what I mean? I'm pretty, like me, honestly, I feel like, I'm pretty sure everybody feels like, you know, like, but you do come across those people, you know, those few people, you know, like I know a few people that their world revolves around money. That comes first for them. They'll stop talking to their children if it'll make them some money, you know? You know, everybody knows a couple people like that. Like that's, you know, I know this lady, you know, she's got money, but she says, oh, I'll do anything to make money. Anything to make money. You know, she tries to breed dogs. She does all this random stuff, you know, like, and some stuff makes money and some stuff doesn't. But she has other businesses that she makes a lot of money. But that's her mentality, you know? She's older. She's an older woman, you know, her 40s. No relationship. Doesn't have a man, doesn't have, you know, just lives alone, you know, like, I don't know, you know? Like, I want my family, you know? And, you know, it's the same thing. Listen, a little background, just for people that don't know, haven't been watching the channel, it's the first time, whatever. You know, I spend a lot of time in and out of prison, youth facilities, you know, California Youth Authority. I spent, you know, 15, 16 years in and out of the system. And you know, when you're running with the gang, and your homeboys, your so-called homeboys, and then you get busted, you get locked up, you don't call them. They don't send you money. They don't come visit you. No, you call your family. You call your mom. You call one of your sisters. You call, you know, your dad. You know, if you have one, you know, like. But nobody calls the homies. Nobody calls their best friend. You know, like, no, you call your family. Most people, you know, it's like, that's who you call. I need to call my mom. I got to call my family. Let them know where I'm at. Let them, you know, it's like, they'll send me some money, whatever, you know, like. But when you're on the streets, when you're free, you know, a lot of people, that's their priorities are their friends. They put that over anything. They'll argue with their mom over their friends, you know. They'll take their friend's side over one of their family members' sides. They'll take, you know what I mean? They'll take one of their homeboys' sides over their family's side, you know? It's like, that's crazy, you know? And I'm not going to exclude myself. I'm not going to talk like, because that's what I did. I did the same thing in the past, you know? I chose all that lifestyle over my kid, my everything, you know? My mom, my family, you know? Like, I chose that lifestyle over all that, you know? And, you know, it takes you time. You got to get older. You got to get wisdom. You got to be what, you know, and to realize all this stuff. When you're young, you're just out there running amok with your friends and your homeboys and whatever you're doing. You know, it's like, and you're throwing your life away for your homeboys, for a gang, for this, for that. It's like you're giving your life away to these weird causes on the streets, gangs, this and that, and jail, and, you know, when you should be giving your life to your family, you know? You should be dedicating your life to your family. You know what I mean? Not a gang, not your friends, not your girlfriend. Nothing, you know? Like, I have another quick story, another quick little example. Just real quick. My daughter, you know, right now she's engaged to some guy. Well, like 6-7 years ago, she had another boyfriend. All in love, you know, she was young, she was 20, 21, all in love. And I made a little comment to, you know, like, you know, I don't even know how to explain it, but I made a little comment to him when we were out eating dinner or something, and I just made a little comment, you know, like, and it was nothing bad. It was, I think I said something like, you know, you should have gave me the heads up, called her father or something, you know, called me first before you just introduced me, you know, and you guys are already boyfriend and girlfriend, you know. But it was just something basic like that, and it wasn't nothing crazy. I didn't, you know, nothing like that. But I know I kind of look aggressive, you know, like people say, oh, you look like you're aggressive, you know. No, you know, it's like, that's just the way you know, people portray it, you know. But so this dude, that was the first thing. As soon as dinner was over and all that stuff, he told on me. He told my daughter. And she got mad and stopped talking to me for probably a year or something, you know? Stopped talking to her dad because her boyfriend felt some type of way or whatever. I don't know what the deal was, you know, whatever. And next thing you know, they break up. And she's back talking to dad. You know, it's like, okay, you know what I mean? That's a perfect example why you don't do stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, at least talk it through with your dad, and, hey, dad, why'd you do that? You know, and, you know, if it was really bad, you know, hey, dad, apologize, whatever. But, you know, that's just a prime example. I'm just, you know, of why your family comes first. You know what I mean? Of course, God, everybody knows God. You got to obey those 10 commandments. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? And then after that, it's just family. You know what I mean? Your family. And trust me, I know, because I have them. Yes, you have lifelong friends that are like family. You've known them since you were a child. Now you're 50, now you're 60, whatever, and you've known this person for 40 years, 50 years. I know that, you know? But it's still a fine line, though. You know, like, you can't, I just feel like you can't pick people over your family, you know? And it just got me to think. I saw a video of some other guy talking, and he was like, you know, saying the same thing. But so it got me thinking about all that, you know? And I was just like, man, that's true. It's exactly true, you know? God first, follow them 10 commandments, you know? And then your family, you know? Your family should be number one. You should be giving your life to your family. Not to some organization, not to some cause, not to money, not to a street. No. Your family, your children, your siblings, your sisters, your brothers, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, your family, you know? It's like, it's crazy. This world's getting just too, I blame cell phones and internet. You know what I mean? I know I'm on here, but it's like, you know, I don't want to be a hypocrite, you know, but so that's just my take on all that. You guys let me know in the comments. Let me know how you feel about it, you know? And thinking about going live tomorrow on my drive home, just so I could like communicate with whoever comes in it, and I'll have time. I could communicate. I just gotta wait for the sun to come down. You know, maybe around like 4:30 or something tomorrow. Because the sun's just, you know, it's almost down. And if it's your first time here and you're interested or whatever, subscribe. You know what I mean? I always forget to say that. I should have said it at the beginning and I forgot, and saying it at the end now. But and for everybody that's new, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm brand new on here. I'm just trying to do this channel. I do everything on my phone. I don't edit. I don't do nothing like that. I just record it, watch it real quick, and then upload it, you know? So, but yeah, go live tomorrow maybe, 4:30. I'm going to check it out, see if I'm on there, you know? See if I'm in there anywhere, you know? You'll see me. All right, everybody. Everybody have a good day, and God bless. Thank you.